Alright, so in this video, I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to find the 75% of any number. And this is a simple trick which you can use in seconds. So let's say we wanted to find 75% of the number 48. How do I do this in seconds? Well, a lot of you might think that you might have to multiply 48 with 0.75. This is what a lot of people actually do. But this takes way too long because we're not only multiplying with decimals, but this is also a two-digit number times a two-digit number, which may take a while. So an easier way to do this is, well, 75% is the same thing as 50% plus 25%. So what I'm going to do is take 50% of 48 and then add it with 25% of 48. So what's 50% of 48? This is just half of 48. So half of 48 is 24. That's simple. And now 25% of 48, I actually made a video on this, how to easily find 25% of a number, but you just divide that number by 4. Because 25% is the same thing as 25 over 100, which is 1 over 4. So this is me multiplying 48 with 1 over 4, which is dividing it by 4, and 48 divided by 4 is 12. So now I have 24 plus 12, which is equal to 36. So there you have it right there. That did take a while because I had to explain everything, but when you're actually doing this without an explanation, it's really easy. So now let's try 75% of 64. So 75% of 64, again, we first take 50% of 64, half of 64 is 32, and then 25% of 64, which is just 64 over 4, which is equal to 16. Now we just add these two, 32 plus 16, which is equal to 48. So 75% of 64 is 48. Now let's try one more. Let's try 75% of 14. So 50% of 14, half of 14 is 7, and now 25% of 14, 14 divided by 4. Now this one isn't a whole number. So 14 divided by 4 is actually 3.5. So now, but if I add these two, 7 plus 3.5, that's 10.5. So it's still really simple. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to find 25% of any number. And this is a really simple trick. So how to find 25%. So let's say we want to find 25% of the number, let's say 40. How do we do this? Well, a lot of people might think we would have to actually multiply 40 with 25%. 25% is the same thing as 0.25. And a lot of people think we would have to multiply 40 with 0.25, which is a little tricky when multiplying with decimals. But there's a really easier way. Now, 25%, again, is the same thing as 0.25, but what is this in fraction form? Well, 0.25 is the same thing as 25 over 100, which simplifies to 1 over 4. Meaning, this is the same thing as multiplying 40 with 1 over 4, which is the same thing as dividing 40 with 4. So, 25% of 40 is the same thing as 40 divided by 4, which is 10. It's as simple as that. So let's try 25% of 48 now. Again, this is just 48 divided by 4, which is 12. Now, how about something a little trickier? What about 25% of 96? Well, this is equal to 96 divided by 4. However, a lot of people might not know what that is. So an easier trick to do this is to actually divide this by 2 and then divide that by 2. So 96 divided by 2 is 48, and now 48 divided by 2 is 24. So that's an easy trick.